All right, guys, what's going on, man? It is LSU Recruiting HQ. Tough day here. Sunday, October 1st. LSU drops this one 55-49 to Ole Miss in Oxford yesterday, and boy, where do you even begin? Rough day at the office for the LSU defense yesterday, man. They gave up 706. Yes, you heard that right. Yards up to Ole Miss's offense. You gave up 317 rushing yards. Quinshawn Judkins, who had been averaging around 2 yards a carry, he went for 180 yards for a 5.4 average. Ulysses Bentley went for 91 yards for 10 yards per carry. Just an abysmal performance. If it wasn't the hardest thing about this thing, man, and then you can't really blame it on one sole unit, one sole player. It was a group effort. When you suck ass like LSU sucked ass, you can't blame anybody, because everybody had their own issues, right? And we're going to sit here and talk about it, but in the grand scheme of things, this was not the issue, right? You're up 9 points here in the fourth quarter. Pretty much the game's over, man. You've been going score for score. You finally got your stop that you've been looking for. You go up 9, and I think, like me, all of us felt like that was the end of the game. Once LSU got up 9, that 2 scores, that even if Ole Miss went down and scored again, it was going to be all for nothing because LSU was just going to continue to score. They hadn't stopped you. Jayden Daniels was terrific. The offense in general was terrific. And I want to highlight that first to bring the positive out of that game. The offense was tremendous. There's going to be some few things that we're going to break down that are going to highlight the mistakes that the offense made. But in the grand scheme of things, the offense was tremendous. The only reason LSU was even in this game is this offense. The only chance LSU had of winning was that the offense just didn't let Ole Miss touch the ball again, which just wasn't the case. So Jayden Daniels, completion percentage is going to be a little skewed, being that the final drive he had like 4 or 5 incompletions. Threw for 414 yards, 4 touchdowns. Brian Thomas is a freaking superstar. 3 touchdowns last night, 124 yards receiving. Malik Neighbors had 100 yards receiving. A couple nice catches out the backfield from Logan Diggs. It was just such a good night for the offense, man, and it was so hard to watch the defense just shit down their pants. Every single drive, it felt like, all right, this is the one where they need to get a stop, right? All right, this is the one. It was like, okay, offense scored again. Hey, this is the time. Kind of like the Arkansas game, man. You were just waiting. They just had to get one stop, and then the offense was going to take care of it. And unfortunately, this time that didn't work out that way. Like I said, you go up 9 there. You're feeling pretty good. LSU gets the ball back with about 5 minutes left in the game. Move down the field, get to like the 45-ish, 40-yard line, and the drive just stalls out. Kind of poor clock management. It really didn't matter in the end because Ole Miss was going to go down and score if you didn't get the first down, and that's exactly what happened. Ole Miss kind of does you a favor there at the end. I feel like everybody like me was screaming at the TV like, let them score. Like, please let them score. Leave us as much time as possible to score. Just let them go in the end zone. And even Lane Kiffin said that after the game. He was like, I wanted the guy to go down. But he ends up scoring with like 40 seconds left. And you're feeling, like, as an LSU fan, I was feeling all right. Like, it was doomsday scenario. I thought, oh, damn, they got this thing down to the 10-yard line. They're going to line it up, take a knee. center it up for the field goal kicker, and they're gonna go home winners, right? And that's not what happened. They threw like a little bubble screen, and kids scored on with about, like I said, 40 seconds left. And at that point I was like, man, they could score in 40 seconds, I think. And boy, did they come close, man. It was a tough last drive. A jump ball in the end zone. Chris Hilton had his hands on it, but you know that's a tough catch. No fault on him right there. It's just you're in a tough situation there. You have the 2 procedure penalties that back you up 10 more yards to make it even more difficult. Which, like I said, we're highlighting offensive miscues, but this game is all about the defense. Matt House has, I don't know, like I said, you can't really put blame on one guy, but this is the leader of that unit, right? So he's going to get a majority of this blame. Matt House has shown that, this was your strength of your team last year at times. Your defense was very good last year when your offense struggled at times. So it's so hard to comprehend how the drop-off can be like this. You know, this is Bo Pelini bad. Like, this is Mississippi State throwing for 1,000 freaking yards on you bad. Like, this can't happen, you know? Like, this type of game can never happen. I was at a loss for words when it was finally said and done. I couldn't just but stare at the TV. I was just lost for words. There was no way to fathom what had just happened. Like, they just gave up 55 points, 700 plus yards of offense in a football game against a ranked team on the road, and still had a chance to win. Like, next time, blow us out, bro. Like, get us out of there early, right? Don't take my heart, right? Hold it in front of my face and then just throw it on the ground and stomp on it. Because it hurts a hell of a lot more when it's close like that. And you know LSU deserves to win that game. When they get that 9-point lead, everybody moods high. You're like, all right, it's been a terrible dog shit performance, but by God, they're going to win again. And it just didn't happen like that, man. Credit to Ole Miss, man. They just kept putting it on them. There was, like I said, LSU's defense had zero answers. The defensive line, like, everybody preseason, everybody up until probably tomorrow, right? All I hear about is how goddamn good this defensive line is, and they are non-existent. The front seven of this freaking team is non-existent. They don't get pressure on quarterbacks. They don't stop the run. The safeties come down. They can't fill the right gaps. Like, I don't even know where to start. The Florida State game, you played man. Keon Coleman just absolutely manhandles your secondary, single-handedly wins them the game because of the plays he made. So you stop playing man, you go and play zone, and nobody knows where the fuck to line up. Oh, you're in a, like, what do you do? What do you do? Is this all, obviously this is on Matt House, because you've got to be able to teach people how to play football, and you have to find out what is best for your team. But is it in such a situation where everybody is just not good at something to where you can't do anything? Like, you have guys that are decent at man, you have guys that can't play zone, or you have guys that can play zone, but they can't guard a fucking soul. I don't know what it is. I really don't know. My biggest concern is last year your defensive line was the strength of this team, and reason why the secondary didn't get exposed like they did as much was because the defensive line was putting pressure on people and stopping the run. And I don't know what the hell. Last night you had a fourth year guy, all Pac-12 last year at Oregon State. This kid got benched for a damn freshman. Got benched. Like, Greg Penn is the guy who stepped up the last couple weeks and playing linebacker. His ass missed so many tackles last night. You have safeties coming up, missing tackles. You have corners, missing tackles. I actually thought LSU did a good job covering last night, which is hard to fucking believe. But other than the busted RPO where the linebackers crept up and there was no safety over the top. I thought Zy Alexander had a damn good night. He broke up 3 or 4 passes, which is something I ain't seen all fucking year. So I was happy with the defensive performance as far as the secondary was. It was just they couldn't tackle. They would let him run these little 8-yard outs or a bubble. Kid would break 2 tackles. Boom. Now that fucking 4-yard play turns into a 25-yard play. And that's where you have the problem. Right? Or they just run, a basic fucking pitch to the left. And Savion Jones crashes on the quarterback the entire fucking game. The entire game. Oh my God, it was one thing after another. There wasn't, and this third down shit is probably the most frustrating thing in the world. If you're an LSU fan, you know what the hell I'm talking about, man. If you watch every game, you know what I'm talking about. They get these goddamn teams in 3rd and long so many times, man. So many times they're in 3rd and 10, 3rd and 12, 3rd and 8. Anything 3rd and 7 plus, right? And it feels like it's advantage offense. It's almost like you give them more room. They convert them at 80% of the time. 80% of the time when they are 3rd down and long, they are converting. That is crazy. That's supposed to be advantage defense, not advantage offense. It's almost like they try to get in those situations. They get false starts. They get holding penalties. They're like, please back us up. Because this team shits down their leg. As soon as we get past the sticks, man, they shit all over the place. Bro, and they don't know what to do. It's gonna be tough. I don't know how the hell they gonna fix it. All I can say is next week, Missouri better watch the fuck out. Because that team, if that team gives any fucks, if they give any fucks, they're gonna beat the fucking shit out of Missouri next week. I don't care if Missouri's 5-0 or not. If LSU's team gives any shit and has any pride, right, to put on that jersey and represent this school the way they want to represent. Last year, you got your ass kicked by Tennessee. You came back and played the best game of the season. I expect the same thing. I think whatever, when you have such a shit performance, right, you throw everything out. Goddamn, Missouri won't have a fucking clue what our defense is going to run because the defense doesn't even know what they're going to run at this point. You throw everything the fuck out. You create a whole new game plan. You put new guys in. It's going to look so different. LSU might fuck around and win. I said Missouri might hang 50 on them, and fuck it, they might. They still might. They like I said, if LSU doesn't give a shit, if them guys don't give a shit, fucking bye, man. Get the hell out of here. Give me some guys in here that want to play and that can execute and that are willing to be coached. Because I can't sit here and think that after what I saw from Matt House last year, that this is the result this year. Like, this is a mutual effort. No doubt. Matt House isn't doing a good job teaching, but the players ain't doing a good enough job, doing their role either. Somebody's got to go out there and make a play. Now, this shit with Harold Perkins being lined up and in coverage, whatever the hell that is, that shit got to change too. I'm getting tired of that shit. You don't get any fucking pressure on the quarterback with your defensive line. Put Harold Perkins back there and tell him to go get the damn quarterback so maybe you can force a bad throw every now and then and bail yourself out of some of these shit plays that you call. But, like I said, what do I know? I'm just a fan. I don't care. It doesn't, it's not my life. I don't go out there. I'm not going to sit here and shit on kids like that. I can shit on the coaches because they make money. Well, technically players do too, but the dude's getting paid, right? He's making whatever millions of dollars, top percentage in the fucking nation as a defensive coordinator. He's up for the Michigan State job, and boy, I goddamn hope they hire him because it's looking like it's going to be a short time here. You turn out a couple more performances like that, your ass is going to get left at the tarmac somewhere, son, because that shit ain't going to happen ever again. Can't happen ever again. If Brian Kelly runs this fucking program into the ground by keeping his fucking guys, you fucked up already and you let Greg McMahon go. Your special teams has been dog shit ever since. You fucked up and let Corey Raymond go to fucking your rival, right? You ain't been able to recruit a fucking good DB since. So, is it on who's it on? Like, you can't sit here and blame one guy. Like I said, man, this is a collective effort. When you shit up this bad, man, this is a collective effort. There's no one source of responsibility. Everybody's responsible for this thing, man. Everybody except offense and that locker room. I'm not really worried about the locker room, but that locker room got to be looking sideways at that defense, man. Like, boys, we put up 49. That's a game you got to win, bro. 49 points. 49 points and you lose. That can't happen. Can't never happen. All right? God dang, man. So LSU drops their second game of the year, man, and it was rough. That was one of the worst performances I've seen since that was Mississippi State bad. Like how I felt after the Mississippi State game and how embarrassed I was. Like, that's probably my biggest thing, man, is what I thought with Brian Kelly coming in here is he would restore the brand of what LSU football was, right? When people see LSU, man, that's their biggest game on the schedule. That is the team that they fear. That's the team they want to beat the most, man. And it's not fucking like that anymore. And it's frustrating because that's how it should be. People invest too much. The community in Louisiana invest too much time and money and resources into this football program to be rewarded with this shit. All right, since 2019, this fucking program has been shit other than last year. All right, you have the worst fucking defense in the world in 2020. You're a 500 football team who can't really do anything good in 2021. And then in 2022, Brian Kelly comes in. He gives you this sense of hope that things are changing. And you know what? Fuck it, they still might, right? It is still early in the season, technically. They could turn this thing around, do exactly what they did last year. But it's fucking frustrating, man. It's frustrating that LSU ain't the same, man. That physicality shit is gone, bro. I don't know what the hell happened, but them guys, man, they're soft. You saw it in the Florida State game. We talked about it after the Florida State game. It's just not. It's that physicality is not there anymore, man. You don't have guys. You're lining up a yard and a half off the ball in defense, man. Like, if there's not one thing that Coach O did, and that was have a damn good defensive line, you had Pete Jenkins in there, you had Coach O in there, you had all kind Bill Bush, or not Bill Bush, what was his name? I don't even remember his name. The other guy who was the defensive line coach for the national championship in 2019. But you have those guys, you have Dave Aranda, you have such good defensive minds coming together, creating game plans, and that defense looked like, oh my God, man, it looked like wet toilet paper, bro. Just anything breaks through, scores. All right, I'm done, bro. I'm done for the day. That's all I had to say. I think it was not all I had to say. I could go on for probably an hour. I'm sure most of y'all are going on for an hour talking to your buddies or whatever, man. But while you're doing that, man, if you're watching this video still, man, like the video, subscribe to the channel, man, and we will see you guys this week breaking down the Missouri game. I will see you guys sometime soon.